Charlie Kirk's assassin has all but been confirmed as far left. But regardless of left or right, what we can be more certain of is that the Democratic Party is completely, officially finished. And I'm about to make a very bold prediction. When it comes to America, from the House to the Senate to the White House, for the next 10 years, the Republicans are gonna run everything. And it's all because of Charlie Kirk.
You're goddamn right.
Now, right now, Americans are currently experiencing an unprecedented, expedited exodus from the Democratic Party. And this is gonna completely destroy them, resulting in the shockwaves being felt all the way out here on little old Taiwan. So, 准备在爆米花分新手攻防, and I highly recommend the party bag, because today a party is absolutely going down. For the DMC, 真的是代志大条。So, over the past 2 days, a lot of new information has been revealed regarding Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson. And for the 极端左派小彩虹 DEI 铁粉 and the Democratic Party, this is very, very bad news.
Yeah, he was walking with him.
Were they holding hands?
Yeah, they were. So, yeah, they drove off in his car, the Dodge Challenger.
The time you saw them or this week?
It was about the time I saw them, so
how long ago was that?
I would say about 2 weeks ago.
And so they looked like they were a couple?
Yeah.
And he was dressed all in black?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And you thought he was weird?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
What was weird about him?
Just the way he walked and just the way I've seen him. I've never seen really anybody dressed all in black with a mask on, and I thought that was just quite weird.
For those who've never seen the roommate, describe that person for us.
He did have freckles on his face. For the haircut, it was a weird haircut. I can't quite, it was kind of a mushroom shaped one. Yeah, I would say he didn't come out much, but definitely a few other, like just a little bit at a time.
There's some published reports out there that this individual, the roommate, may have been transitioning. Did that correlate with what you saw?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he was going to have an operation to be to turn into a woman.
Yeah, and I think he's getting ready for that.
Sorry, just in what way do you think?
I remember them talking about a doctor's appointment. It was about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
And they were kissing?
Yeah.
Do you know where did you see them kissing?
Just coming out. I was riding with my bike, so I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah. I saw them.
This is Tyler's neighbor, and he claims that Tyler was dating a transgender person. Now, I don't know of any Republicans who have trans partners, at least not in public anyway, but generally speaking, that's usually the preference of someone who leans politically left. But hey, anything's possible.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in that conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
So Tyler Robinson became increasingly political during his college years. An American college student from a conservative family who wrote anti-fascist messages on bullet casings, has a transgender girlfriend, and hates Charlie Kirk in his bones seems like all signs point to a radical left student who, after learning a bit of critical race theory and borderline Marxist ideology theories in school, did what most young college students do, rebelled against his family and society. But in true DNC fashion, everyone is claiming victory instead of facing reality.
Only things that we have heard out of the left the last couple days are either celebrating Charlie's death or the fact that, oh, look, it's MAGA on MAGA crime. Does this look like MAGA? You know, he was in a relationship with a transgender human. They lived together. I'm gonna call this what it is. He was in a gay relationship because he's a dude and the person he was in a relationship with is a male transitioning to a female. Gay. Which now makes even more sense when you go ahead and put the timing of when he was shot together. Transgender shooter question was that. Charlie was shooter was dating a transgender. Motive? I think we found it. And now that this information has come out, the only thing that you hear out of people like Harry Sissam's mouth is, well, why does it matter? Because y'all have been saying for days that it was a straight white Republican male. And once again, Harry, you're wrong and you can't admit that. And because once again, it is not the Republicans killing the Republicans because we didn't like Republican views. What kind of logic is that? How do y'all get there? It is evil humans that have been indoctrinated by the people on the left that are killing Christian conservatives. And if you thought that Charlie was going to somehow chop off the head of the snake and we would all go quietly, wrong. You just created millions of Charlies. Prepare to be sick of us. We're not going anywhere. Have a day.
But, real talk, whether the assassin was a left-wing radical or a right-wing radical, it doesn't really matter anymore, because what truly destroyed the DNC wasn't him. Instead, it was a group of people who were much, much worse than a lone radical assassin.
His wife deserves to go too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids. They need to go too because they're carrying on that mentality and that lineage. Like, give family. I'm so sorry. Why did you guys stop with him? Why did you stop with him? Go get his grandma. Because who raised you? Like, your mom ought to be ashamed for breathing scum like you. Get rid of the whole family. Like, y'all too scary. Y'all too scary for revolution. Y'all too scary for progress. Like, y'all want results without putting in the work. You won't have to take out trash to get a clean house. Like, it is what it is. If the trash can is stinking up the house, you gotta take out the garbage.
This goober actually dared to make such a video and make it public, demanding that people should format Charlie Kirk's entire family, from his wife to his mother to even his children. Ladies and gentlemen, evil truly exists in this world. And it ain't just a few, it's many.
This memorial over the past several days, even right now, there are a few dozen people who have come out here tonight to take a moment and pay their respects to Charlie Kirk. Everything has remained peaceful over the last several days, but there was one arrest earlier today. Take a look at this video recorded by Fox News Channel that shows the suspect stomping through the memorial and kicking items before being tackled to the ground by witnesses. Within seconds, Phoenix police officers took control of the situation and arrested the man identified as 19-year-old Ryder Corral.
So these goobers not only mocked Charlie Kirk's death and demand his family be formatted, they even went so low as to vandalize Charlie Kirk's memorial site. And take note, these are the folks who represent empathy, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, I used to think that these DEI Hong just simply suffered from excessive empathy and unrealistic ideas. And as a result, they couldn't bear to listen to other people's opinions and always thought they were right, loving to label anyone who went against them as misogynist, homophobic, transphobic, or all sorts of racist. Shit, that kind of sounds like a few of my ex-girlfriends.
How dare you?
And I thought at base level, a lot of them were just overly kind lunatics. But after the whole Charlie Kirk incident, I'm beginning to realize that A, they have absolutely nothing to do with kindness.
I was an old school Democrat. I will never vote a Democrat ever. I was a Purple Party independent. You lost me. I'm all red now. When you celebrate and rejoice in the murder and assassination of someone who just was giving a different point of view than what you're used to in the colleges these days, you are and will always be part of the problem if you're rejoicing in that. He was a family man. He just came and was respectful to everybody and was assassinated for it. It's pathetic. And so has what the Democratic Party has become.
Lately, videos like this are completely dominating the TikTok algorithm, and a lot of people no longer want to have any association with the Democratic Party because a lot of folks who were in the same party were mocking Charlie Kirk's death.
I literally called this in my last video. I said it is going to take, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk's assassination for people to wake up from the Democratic Party. And if you read this comment section, it is full of Democrats saying the exact same thing, being lifelong Democrats, leaving the Democratic Party as of today. And this comment is not from a video that I posted. It's something entirely different. It's the House of Representatives on the House floor. And Anna Paulina Luna, she is U.S. Representative, Republican, and she was asking for a moment of prayer on behalf of Charlie Kirk's passing. And a Democrat, they yelled out, "No!" And they go back and forth. So then Anna Paulina Luna, she starts yelling out, "Y'all did this. Like, this is because of you guys." The violence that they incite, yeah, she called it out. Even Dean Withers, Parker, his best friend, so many people are stating the obvious. If you are rejoicing at someone's demise, literally them being unalived, you're the issue. And anyone that laughs at a loss of a life, shame on you.
Now, up until the point that I've uploaded this video, although there's been quite a few Democratic politicians who have condemned political violence and even sent condolences to their family, not a single solitary one has called out members of their own party or people who support them for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Not a single goddamn one.
The reason I am so critical of the Democratic Party right now is because I literally just left it, just like a lot of other people. I was a bleeding heart liberal like all of you. I mean, blue hair and everything. I mean, believe me, I have plenty of pictures proving that I was all in. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said there is no way in hell I will ever vote for Donald Trump. But let me tell you what changed my mind. The big moment for me was when the left started trying to push this like Nazi, Hitler, fascism narrative that they're trying to push right now. Like what y'all actually did is made a lot of us really go research Trump even harder. And we started to realize that a lot of things that you guys had shown us about Trump and things that he had said were taken way out of context. A lot of us started noticing a pattern where you guys were showing us like little 10-second clips of a 10-minute conversation that did not reflect the entirety of that conversation at all. So that was number one. And then around Thanksgiving, all of a sudden you guys are telling us that it would be better for us to sit at home and spend the holidays with no one than it would be to go home to your family who voted for Trump. When I heard that, I was like, okay, now y'all are wildin', because you cannot tell me that it is better for your mental health to sit at home alone than it is to go and spend time with your friends and family. Y'all had actual therapists getting on TV and telling you guys this. And the sad thing is that it would have been better for them to encourage you to do something like find other people that believe the same as you to spend the holidays with, but they didn't. They told you to stay in your home and spend the holidays with no one. When that happened, I was like, okay, I gotta give this party a second look because something is not right here. But honestly, if you want to know the truth, what really did it for me is realizing how freaking depressed I was when I was functioning as a liberal. Liberalism will literally make you hate yourself. It will make you hate your family. It will make you hate your friends. It will make you hate everything about the world.
This sounds like a lot of the American college students we covered during our Untrue series, viewing the world with negative emotions and banding together like a cult.
I was raised a Democrat. I'm black. That's just it. Even though Nigerian culture is very conservative, if you're black, you vote Democrat. That's what you know. And then in 2023, I started asking questions. Something just didn't feel right. I started asking questions. And I quickly realized that the Democratic Party is ran as a cult. You're not allowed to ask questions. You're not allowed to even have an opinion outside the one everyone has. You have to walk in unison with everybody else, talk the same, walk the same, act the same. You're not allowed to think outside the box. And if you dare to call out of the box, you will be canceled. You will be doxxed immediately. And their language is violence. And it doesn't have to be just what we just saw with Charlie. Even just in conversing with them, it's immediate violence, name-calling, abuse.
Now, I'm about to be really real for a minute. Even here in Taiwan, for all those local Taiwanese who claim to have studied abroad in America and then come back to self-professed liberals claiming to know better than the local Taiwanese people are the exact same ones who purport the stereotype that all black folks represent the Democratic Party. In fact, almost every single bit of real FUSA-based racism that I've experienced in Taiwan have come from these DEI liberal folks. The oblivious racist irony is hilarious.
I know that a lot of people are going to be unhappy with what I have to say, but I've felt it on my heart for a while to make a video about this because I wish that I had seen a video like this when I was having this internal struggle. And everything that's happened with Charlie Kirk, I feel even more obligated to say something. So when I was 16 years old, if you would have asked me what political party I identified with or resonated with the most, I 100% would have told you the Democratic Party, hands down, right? Hands down, I would argue with you till you were blue in the face. No one could convince me otherwise. If you ask me now, I would tell you I don't identify with either. I think that it is the biggest division in the U.S. is Democratic versus Republican, right versus left, liberal versus conservative. It's not about what's right anymore. It's not about right versus wrong. It's not about kindness. It's not about any of that. And it's destroying America. But gun to my head now, if you force me to pick a party I identified with more, it would be the Republican Party. And I know that's super controversial because the media pushes so hard that if you're a Republican, you're racist, you're homophobic, you don't believe in women's rights, you like all these things. They push all of these things, right? Well, I just want to come here and say that's not true.
Now, these videos are just a tiny fraction, and there are a lot of videos on TikTok about people explaining why they left the Democratic Party. And I'm only talking about those you can tell are Democrats at first glance. The ones with rainbow-colored hair and nose rings are the most hardcore shouts I hold, who have now realized that this rainbow only has one color, and that color is
In all 30 states that track party registration, we're putting on the screen the data. It shows altogether Democrats have lost 2.1 million voters. Republicans have gained 2.4 million. That's a deficit that you have of 4.5 million voters.
Now, these stats come before Charlie Kirk got shot, showing the gap between the two parties has reached nearly 4.5 million. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't double now. This means when it comes to the 2026 midterms, the DNC is going to have to throw in the towel before it even begins. But that leaves a question. How in the world will Republicans remain in power for the next 10 years?
Welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. This is Vice President J.D. Vance. Joining me now is Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff, dear friend of mine and dear friend of Charlie Kirk's. And before I get into the nitty-gritty of what I wanted to talk with Stephen about, there's a lot of questions about the investigation, where we are in the investigation. I want to be respectful to the FBI's process, but just know that we are on top of this, and the entire administration is trying to do as much as possible to find everything that we can about what led to this, about how we got here, and of course, ultimately, how an assassin took Charlie's life. I wanted to zoom out with Stephen a little bit and talk about all of the ways that we're trying to figure out how to prevent this festering violence that you see on the far left from becoming even more and more mainstream.
Enter in the most likely contender for the Republican 2028 presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, who was one of Charlie Kirk's very good friends. In fact, just a few hours ago, he actually hosted Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA podcast. Charlie Kirk has officially become a Republican conservative martyr. The date that he was assassinated comes directly on the heels of the U.S. elections. Be it the 2026 midterms, the 2028 presidential election, or even the 2032 one. These all occur within the first week of November, meaning every time this election season comes around, when it comes to Charlie Kirk, Americans will
say my name.
And just 56 days before every major U.S. election, every American will remember that Charlie Kirk was shot by an extreme leftist, Xiao Caihong, who all but aligned himself with the Democratic Party and its ideology. So for the DNC,
you're in trouble now.
Now, unless the DNC comes out and says,
我们错了 DEI 是一个代际大掉的错误拍谁我们现在没办法接受 Charlie Kirk 讲的是对的
Well, let's be real, I doubt this day will ever come, but maybe I'm wrong. But until that day arrives, the DNC is completely finished, making the DEI officially changing position into DIE. And this shit is very tight.
Tight, yeah!
So, within the next decade, every time election season comes around, Americans are going to be constantly reminded of the political death related to transgender and LGBTQ and extreme leftist BS, all because a political commentator was assassinated in front of his wife and children. And this wound, associated with extreme radical leftism, will leave more than half of the country feeling completely repulsed at the thought of DEI. And with Taiwan at the Asian forefront of DEI values, it being the first Asian country to legalize same-sex marriage, and one of the few Asian countries that allows transgender men and women to compete against biological men and women, as well as allegedly pushing for identity card changes without gender reassignment surgery, there's only one word left to describe this entire situation.
Fuck.
Okay, so for those of you who are new to this channel, let me be clear. We at Haljiza actually support LGBTQ and trans rights. And actually, there wasn't really anything wrong with those policies as they were implemented under the Obama and Biden administrations. But allow the nigga YouTubing in his underwear to offer a little bit of perspective. For the next decade, possibly, maybe your cousin, the DPP might want to scale back on the overt acts of DEIism. Not because we want you to become Republican adjacent, but for the sake of diplomatic relations, you might want to get a little bit closer to the folks that you're going to ask to defend you when China comes knocking on the door. Shit, even the UK and Europe are starting to yolt on ETT because they see the writing on the wall. Will you? But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Taiwan will go woke, no broke. But what do you guys think? Peace!